Hello. Sorry about that, people. I don't know what happened. Oh, just give me a moment. I've been trying to get online. Just- Hello? This is much better. Huh. I don't think I've stressed this much. I wanted to get online, and next thing I got shut out completely. Completely. No camera, no. It's been crazy. I am so sorry. So sorry. I don't know what happened because everything was set up. I always check. Events have made me a bit, nervous about this thing. So I check, I get everything ready, and then, it's time for the show to start. And you can imagine my shock. I come, everything is saying I'm ready. I play the music, start the whole thing, and I can't log on. So I had to switch off the whole system. And then my backup system also wasn't working. Anyways, we're here. That's what's most important. So thanks for coming to the Mongol Croonings with Abby and friends. I apologize for all the stress. I'm sure you've noticed that everything is just sort of gone crazy. All the stuff we normally have, they're not there because I've just been running around. But anyways, let's get on with the show. Let me invite Mr. H. Mr. H, are you there? My phone is also not. I don't know. All the day technology decides to abandon all of us, we'll be in trouble. Mr. H, how are you?
I'm
Hey,
fine. How are you? Yes.
I've never been that frightened in my life. I thought maybe I'd been hacked or something.
What happened to your laptop?
I don't know. I set up the timer, then the montage. Oh yeah, let me enter. Everything just shut down. My heart
Yeah, it
dropped.
happens.
Anyways, how are you doing? Oh my god, we have a new person. I want to faint. Because I have been trying to get this lady on. Oh my god, I'm so happy. But let me first of all speak to you first. I'm coming on. I can see you. I can see you laughing. Say, how have you been? You just abandoned your love. What happened?
No, I'm okay. Just we used to have load shedding here, so sometimes
Okay.
the electricity goes. So, but today it's gonna go off by I think 12.
Ha.
So this is almost 10. So we still have like 2 hours before it goes off.
Okay. Okay. Well, I do know that a couple of people have said they're going to be coming. I've been trying to get Laraba. I don't know what's happened. I reach out to people,
Mm.
but I don't know. I don't know whether it's my phone because now I don't even trust
Maybe
my
some
phone
people are
anymore.
busy. It's the
Yeah, I
Easter,
know.
so
I
people
know
are
people are
busy.
busy, but like they'll say, "Oh, I'm going to join," and then somehow I can't find them, or I think I don't know what's going on. I
Mm.
think my phone also is it because some people will be like, "Oh, I was expecting a call from you," and I'm like, I reached out, but it doesn't get to them. Anyways, let us get on with the show. I know I've got to bring on this amazing woman, this beauty queen. Oh my god, I don't even know where to start from. My body is doing me giz giz. Yes, hello, Zivi.
Hi, hi.
How you doing, precious?
Oh, it's so good to see you. How are you?
Who is this? Any other is a Ganda fit.
Well, Samuel, it's I don't know. Funny thing. Hi, Mr.
Mr.
H.
H.
Yeah. So
Hello.
I always get to see your broadcast, but then everything just seems so foreign to me. When I see the links, I'll be like, how do I even join this thing? And today I was
Just
just,
click
you
on the
know,
thing.
I know now. So today I was just like, let me even see how this thing works. Maybe somehow I just feel like Nigerians are like cut off. And then today, somehow, I was in the dark. I just
Oh.
clicked and I said, something is loading, something is loading, and voila.
And then the day that it was loading was when everything just disappeared on my end. I almost had that
Oh
attack
dear. Oh, I'm sorry.
because
How have you?
I, past experiences have taught me to always check everything, like at least a good 15 minutes before the show starts.
Oh yeah.
So everything was set, everything was fine. I put the intro that we usually do on the show. Then
Okay.
I put the timer first. Timer went, was fine. Put intro was fine. Oh yeah,
And
man, look, the thing just disappeared. Said no mic or whatever access. You
oh
have
dear.
to you have to reload the page. I now reloaded the page. He said no, you have to switch off the system. I'm like,
Yeah.
ah. I now went to carry my backup tablet that I will be using that one while I'm trying to run this one. Tablet was like, Auntie, so you remember me today? You lie. I almost had hypertension though. Sorry. Who's it? Oh, Laraba has a horrible headache. Laraba
Oh
gets
dear.
well soon. She's one of our usuals, one of our new usuals. We've been, alternating on usuals, but I hope that you will be one of our usuals from now on. Eh?
I hope so. I think what
But
got my attention was the topic for today.
yeah, well, I mean, people always will come according to whatever topic works for them, that they like, that kind of thing. So I just hope that the people on YouTube can see us. Let me just check so that in case that one too is having a problem, because I'm my own producer, I'm my own what the
Yeah,
I'm my own
everything.
everything. Exactly. So I have to be checking everything to make sure that it's all going well. Just bear with me. Just make sure that we are.
Okay.
It
Oh,
says one person is watching. Aha, okay, we're there. Okay, it says one person is watching, so more people have already sent a message to me that they're going to watch, so we hope that they get on. But let us get on with the show. First of all, before I go on, it's been in my head, but then it keeps going. How are you, Zibi?
do you really want us to talk about that now?
We will talk about it in the after party. We have something called the after party where
Okay.
after the show has finished, we will now sit down and gist the
You
gist.
just okay. But I'm fine today. You can see now. You can see our companion right behind
Yes,
me.
but I have my own shop to my side.
I'm fine.
In fact, I want us to talk about it one day
That yeah.
on a show like this.
I'll
Like
be
talk
I'll be
about it.
glad.
Mr. H, I'm talking about. She also suffers from fibromyalgia like me.
Okay.
Zibi suffers from fibromyalgia like myself. And a lot of people don't even know what that is. They've never heard of it before. Some people think it must be fake because they never heard of it, and because it doesn't show on the face, you know.
And
And
and then we
because
always
of the
smile.
tightening of the skin, you end up looking younger. So they're like, this one is chopping life and claiming to be it.
But Abby, could you maybe for the viewers that are watching or listening, could you just what is it all about so you can educate them?
Okay, what is the show tonight about?
No, the condition.
Oh, the condition. Zibi, you are the newbie to the condition, so yeah, tell us what it is.
Gradually, I'm getting old though. I don't they do over a year. So fibromyalgia is a musculoskeletal disorder. Simply put, your muscles and your bones are aching and failing you. Yeah.
But it's also an
An
immuno
immune, yeah,
immune
yeah,
deficiency
exactly.
disease,
Deficient, yeah.
Okay, I,
and
I think
basically
I've
you
heard that before. And do you get does your hand or your legs get swollen?
why does it get swollen? That is the question we should be asking.
Yeah, because I have
Only
a
my
friend that
teeth,
was
only
passing.
my teeth
Yeah, I
doesn't
have a
get
friend that.
swollen.
Yeah, I just wanted to know because I had a friend that was suffering the thing before. It's very, very really
Okay.
bad, and I feel sorry for her. And I think, so it's really really not something that anybody prays for, because she
at
complained
all.
about, like you said, the it's like she be crying and screaming. So
Yeah.
we used to buy. She would need these painkillers, the highest of the painkillers, to get it down.
Mm.
So I really understand, and I, it's I'm so sorry about that, and I pray that God will heal you. But I really have a friend that it's she goes through that, and she had to
Right.
relocate so that her children can take care of her when the condition starts. So I'm really
Yeah.
sorry. I'm really sorry
It's
about
okay. Thank
Oh,
you very
Mr. H,
much.
you're so
Aw,
sweet. Mr. H,
thank
thank
you.
you. Before I respond to that, Sasha, thanks. Hey, how you doing? I was looking because I saw your message saying you were joining us, and then I was wondering what happened. Antonio Monsope, I can see you. For everybody who is watching, please, it's not about the condition. We just, Zibi just happens to be a new person, and she happens to have the condition as myself. And I've been dealing with it 16 years. So, it's always not nice because I don't wish it on
It's fine.
anybody.
It's actually always nice to know that there's someone you can relate with. So I know what
Exactly.
you mean by it's nice to,
It's
in a
not
good kind of
I don't wish
way.
on anyone, but when you now
No,
find someone else who's suffering from it, you're like, finally,
somebody
someone
finally
who can
understands
justify, like someone
exactly,
who can help me to tell the people think I'm lying.
or that I'm not.
Because again, it doesn't show on the face. And most of the time, I like yesterday, I had a bad episode. I was like what Mr. Peter said, I was screaming, I was in pain, and I'm by myself. So, I just was knocking back my pain relief because that was the only thing I could do at that point in time. To even get out of bed was a problem.
Mm,
I was swollen all over. I was screaming. I didn't get any relief until in the evening. I have a carer. I have carers who come in because of this condition. So my carer came, and when she saw me, she was like, "Whoa," and
mhm.
tried as much to make me comfortable. And it was around this morning I started to actually feel better. So, and that's the thing that people don't understand, that you can look good today, you can look good in the morning, and by afternoon
Then
you
you
are
look all
completely
messy.
wrecked,
Hmm.
But we will dedicate a show to it. Let's not deviate from tonight's show. So, Sasha, I know you and I are not married, so we might not have plenty to put in as direct experience, but there will be people who have indirect experience. So, by the way, Sasha, this is Zibi. Zibi is in
Hi,
Nigeria.
Sasha.
She's a friend of mine, and she also suffers from fibromyalgia. So that's why we're talking about fibromyalgia earlier. And of course, Mr. H. So the topic we're talking about tonight is we are going on with the bullying, surviving bullying. Like, we've been doing a series. We've done friendship, we've done workspace. Now we're doing in-laws, because that's another place that people get to talk about being bullied, being having interference, people wanting you to do what they want and not what you want. Again, I've never been married before. I don't know what it is like directly, but I saw it growing up, and so I can talk from that experience. But before we go into our own experiences, Sasha, I don't know if you have any experience there. But Zibi, Mr. H, what are your thoughts?
Okay, thank you. It's a very broad question, and you're very correct. You have the interference of family members, external family members. Could be your mother, could be your father, could be your cousin, and they want you when you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage. They want you to stick to, maybe they have their own preferred candidates. I'll put it that, for you to get married to or to be with. And maybe sometimes it could be a matter of tribe, it could be a matter of color, it could be a matter of ethnicity. Oh, this person is from X, is from Y. No, we don't want the kind of person. And maybe eventually you marry that person, and your family members are always coming to the house and they tell you this. Hey, let me tell you, that is one of the things that breaks up a relationship and marriage. And what I have learned in my own little way, it's for you not to allow anybody to interfere in your relationship, or in your marriage if you are married. It's very, very important. That's rule number one, because everybody has got something to say. They will tell you she's not tall enough, she's not short enough, she cannot cook, she cannot do this. And at the end of the day, if you listen to them, you would mess the whole thing up, because the mindset, how the mindset, when you listen, you begin to, at your quiet time, well, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Helped me, because my own personal stake on this thing is that I don't involve anybody in my relationship. I don't involve my mother. I don't involve anybody. I don't talk about my relationship with anybody. If I don't tell my mother or my brother, and this has really worked for me, because there was a time. Let me give you an example. My sister came to South Africa, and my sister was staying with my brother. She comes here, stays for 2 weeks, and she goes back to Nigeria. And my brother's house is about 4 bedroom, 3 up, 1 down. So she's sleeping down there, and I was in my own place. And my sister texted me and said, "Oh, your brother, my brother and his wife are having issue making noise in the house, and they are calling me to come and intervene, to come and put." Then I sent her a WhatsApp message. I said, "Lock that room you are and don't come out. If they knock, don't come out. If they start hitting themselves, call the police to intervene. Do not come out. You are not the referee. Don't intervene, because once you go and support one person, now at the end of the day, if anything happened, they will say you're the one." And that's exactly what she did. She kept quiet. They knock, knock, knock. She never opened until they sorted themselves out and they are good. So that is it. In a relationship, the rule number one, do not let anybody interfere in your relationship. The best thing, don't discuss your relationship with anybody. Whatever is happening in your house, stand up and talk about it. Because I have seen marriages has been broken up either by the father or the mother, or even the siblings. We don't like this woman. This woman look at us somehow. This one. And again, that is another thing, is that you don't let family members come and stay with you for too long. You know, your mother is coming to stay in your house, to come and stay with you guys for 2 months or 3 months. What is the meaning of that? You're not married to her. At the end of the day, she starts seeing the flaws, or your mother wants a meal to be done like this. It's only in the part of world that we come from, that you see parents want to start dictating for their children who to marry and who not to marry. And you ask them, when you are
Okay,
getting
Mr.
married in
H,
your own
I'm
time,
just
did
going to
anybody
pause
tell
you
you
there.
who to marry?
Mr. H, sorry, I'm going to pause you there,
Mm,
because that is a very, very serious point you're pointing out, especially about that whole choice thing.
mm,
Because take it from me, I know what you're talking about. But I want to throw
mm,
the question to Zibi. Zibi, you've
mm,
been married for some time now, and I have read a lot of your write-ups about your marriage, the kind of things you went through, and all that stuff. I can't recall reading anything about in-laws, but I know that there was you know some tough times that you and your husband went through. I mean, people look at both of you now and they're like, "Oh, I wish I had a husband like this. Wish I had a wife like this," and they don't know that it is pepper and tomatoes war
Yeah.
that happened before it became sweet like that. So, what are your views on this, Mr. H?
Oh,
Don't go.
so
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
I think one thing I'll say first off is you're actually correct to say you the truth is you never even get to find me say anything about my in-laws on social media, and that's intentional.
Hmm.
You would hardly even catch me say anything about my own family, I mean extended family, on social media. Why? Because it's intentional.
Hmm.
So I could go all lovey-dovey about my immediate family because I'm keeping it to that circle. And that's the boundary myself and my husband have agreed to keep, even right before we got married. Because taking sides, you know, I, as a matter of fact, even right now, I'm even trying not to even talk about it, but I'm just going to say a little bit about certain things that have helped.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm from a large family. I'm from Edo State. I'm the last born, a family of 8 siblings. So you should kind of understand. And then my hobby is Delta Igbo, also large family. He happens to be the first child. I know, considering, yes, so when you're hearing Edo girl, the typical, stereotypical thing about Edo women, people don't, they don't, a lot of people don't even want to hear it. This one not go stay husband house, yada 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 yada. And then trying to piece my physical appearance and my personality coming to that kind of home. Of course, nobody will want their kids to even want to engage with that kind of person. That being said, but like Mr. H said, there have to be certain things. It has to be nipped from the very beginning. So while myself and Hobby were dating, as friends, there were certain conversations we had,
Mm.
like, would you want your mom to come around? Would you want your siblings to come around? And blatant answers were given. I would just say, it's me, I don't like it, or me, I don't do this. So there are certain things that have to be set. There's set like guidelines already, even while you're dating. And this is actually what people don't talk about. So they get carried away with the wedding plans, the mushy up, and but it goes beyond that. So
Yeah.
you need to set boundaries before you do say the I do. Those boundaries are very necessary. You have to say it already. Ethnicity will definitely come in place. Preferences, like you said, right candidates might be the case, or maybe not, or maybe just personal value. But in my case, it wasn't a situation of, oh, maybe they had a preference, but was just being a first child. They wanted to know what he was up to, and I being the last child, my
Mm.
parents wanted to be in my business. Like, she's
Mm.
our last card and our
Yeah, baby.
baby. So we really want to know how everything would go. So because of that, we were at that point having issues. My dad felt maybe at that time at 27 or 20, he felt I was too young to get married. In his eyes, he saw me as a baby. And yes, so when my now hubby came and said he wanted to marry me, I was like, oh no, no, you are not ready. And then getting to find out where I was marrying from, my dad wasn't so pleased to say, all these Delta Igbo people, they have wahala. As a matter of fact, we had to just get married anyway. We tried the traditional route, but we knew it was going to be a longer thing. So we decided and said, guy, let's just do this whole white wedding and rest. And we'll just live happily ever after. So nutshell is, it all starts with both of you, the couples. So first of all, you need to know what you want. I think if that is defined from the very get-go, you really wouldn't have issues. It's not going to be easy though. And I also just want to reiterate or maybe add to what Mr. H said. He said something about how long your in-laws might come visiting. It might not even be how long. Sometimes it might be just a day. But like Yoruba we say, the one day ara, the
The
thing they will come,
kasala, they will cut that one day.
the one day that they will cause. I just want to give an example. I don't even want to talk about what in-laws do. Like, for example, my mom might come around and even she might be on my own case, her own daughter. And she'll be like, this is not how you do things. This is not how they do things. Oh, let me say this in Yoruba. Though she's not Yoruba, but she'll say, oh, she being kwe. Oh, she being kwe. So she'll say things like that. And my hobby just goes like,
Trained in
okay,
Yoruba, so I'll
it's
just
her mom.
translate. She's saying that
You
her
know,
mom will say that you are
like, you're
behaving
not
like you
trained.
ain't
You
trained,
act
like you ain't
exactly.
taught
So my mom goes like,
without manners.
you're acting like you're not trained. So she says it in Yoruba. And because myself and my hobby, we kind of understand how we navigate and arrange ourselves when they are around, we kind of keep it cool. So even when I'm overreacting, or maybe my mom might be thinking of dropping a comment, I know how to cut it. And so I think it just has to be it's a cooperative thing. If you guys, the couple understand themselves, I think they'll be able to manage the situation and not get in-laws involved or even let them have like the upper hand in their relationship or marriage.
Mm.
Yeah,
Thank you very
that's what
much.
I think.
And I still have several questions I'm going to ask. But
Okay.
the Don Dada of Mongolo Cruise is here. This is so lovely. So lovely to see you, PK. This is Kayode. Kayode is like, he's, I don't even know. He's everything. He's a wonderful man. We get on each other's. Well, I get on his nerves. He doesn't get on my nerves. I get on his nerves. I terrorize him. I do everything. But you know what? He is such a good man. He takes it all in good faith, and he was very much instrumental to the beginning of Mongolo Korean. So, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. But before I come to you, I want to ask Sasha. Sasha, will you be able to talk? Because I know your connection is a bit on the dodgy side. Hey, Sasha. Sasha? Okay. Well, I'm waiting for Sasha to see if she can actually join us. Kyle, we're talking about surviving bullying, in-laws edition. Now, Mr. H has talked about it being that, look, this is me and my wife. Zibi has talked about the kind of conversations that people should be having before they get married so that they can, like, let us discuss this whole in-law situation. Let's not just, oh, Mr. H is joining us because they're having rolling electricity where he is. So the question I want to ask you is, now, you're a traditionalist in the way you think. We even had a brief conversation about that how many days ago. And I'm actually starting to be like, you know what? I don't totally agree, but sense the inside. Like, there is some sense in it. Now, traditionally, marriages are believed to be between families. You marry a man or you marry a woman, you marry their family. But here we have people, modern day couples saying, keep out the family so you don't have problems. Let's keep it between ourselves. Let's have these conversations. Mama can't just pop up with her bag and say, I came from village, we talk for you. No, none of that. So what are your thoughts?
So where we come from, because I think from 3.2, you can't hear me. Oh, I'm echoing the one. I have to let me just check. Am I still echoing?
A bit.
I'm echoing.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I can hear the echo.
Oh, I can hear you. And you know that any other person hear the echo, we can.
If you can hear the echo, please wave on Kayode's side. Okay, since it's me, I'll continue.
I think your speaker is going back into your mic.
Okay.
You have your speaker on. Okay, so in Africa, in Nigeria in particular, where we come from, the marriage is not between two individuals. That's why everybody talking now has referred to the fact that it's family, my family. It's never between two people, it's between two families. Except, of course, half of your family, maybe you marry somebody who is from outside of Nigeria, maybe even outside of Africa, because I think across Africa, you might find that a lot of marriages are between families, which means that you can, and you know that you can choose your friend, but you are born into a family. You do not choose that family. In fact, a lot of people will not choose the family they were born into if it was an option. All right, so that's the reality. That reality, question is, how do you navigate it? I think, in my opinion, right, for the man finds it easier to relate to the family. He can either cut them off completely if they are a problem, or he can become stubborn and basically say, you must accept me. You know, one who has decided is going to be like that. He doesn't have to. Most men, I think it's easy for them. It is the women that usually are, I know somebody who basically will have elevated blood pressure, will actually start having anxiety attacks once the mother-in-law says she's visiting, right? Yeah, that's a real thing. I mean, basically, totally shuts down, that's breaking out because the mother-in-law is visiting. So that from the time the mother-in-law comes in and says good morning, to hide the problem, right? And what I now realize is that there are some women that this works a little bit. So women basically will blow everything off. And what I mean by that, basically say, all right, I mean, when I'm talking about when the classes occur, we basically get all upset and then come back and kneel down and say, no, I'm sorry, something, right? And then for that, okay, it is possible that they will basically, after the fact, that they might come to some form of mutual respect. That's one at the beginning. Another practice I see actually is for the day that the woman is upset when she packs out, she goes to her in-laws place. You understand? if she gets anything, she gets really upset. She went and she leaves the house and she's not living there. She's not going to her own house. She's going to sleep in her in-law place. That this person this person did that, but she's going to her in-law place, right? So that's another thing that has worked. But there's always the way, the mother-in-law from hell, right? That's the reality. Honestly speaking, the only way that I know that you can deal with that actually is to you actually have to have a head-on with class. That really is it. Then there could be mutual respect. But then in the process of doing that, on the day to do that, also understand that you have to be very, very measured in what you say, because what you say will be used against you. So what I'm saying is that when you are having that head-on, basically like almost a total breakdown and crying like a baby, and all right, you have won. Okay, so you are bullied me into a corner. Okay, what do you want to do with me now? Right? That is another thing, because sometimes those bullies just want to, in their mind, they think that they have to break you down. And if you put on a good act, that okay, you've broken me down, okay, what do you want me to do now? And they're like, no, but you know, Chile, you have broken me down, what do you want me to do now? You know, but you have to measure what you say. Maybe you put on a very good act. When they now feel sorry, that why do you have to trouble another person's daughter to that level? Right? So that's another act. So I would say that there are different approaches that you can do to be able to give because sometimes you just want to feel powerful. So how about you deliver the whole power to them? Then after that, pass on peace. As opposed to always trying to say no. You see, don't go and put your husband in a position where you're asking to choose between one and the other. Depending on it, if your husband is white, actually should. Now, again, I'm also talking about the scenario where the man is too scared to basically solve the issue, because he's one who can actually say, look, mother, you are mother, nobody can replace you as mother. That then wife, you are wife. If I try to make you mother wife, then it will be abomination. There are things you will offer that I can never get from my wife. There are things, vice versa. So basically, you have to, and now this again for the man side of things. The man has to be able to make both of them realize that his completeness as a man depends on both of them being in his life and being peaceful. You can't do one over the other, right? So that whole, I carry him for 9 months. Yes, no other person can do that. But at the same time, what this woman they are looking at does for me in the bedroom that makes him will be calm, right? If you did it, it is abomination. And I need both to be normal, right? In fact, if the man wants, that's when you can now go and so one time on that. If there is no peace in our teaching, basically, just you need to have a feeling of what they are making me go through on the inside. So you should basically fight for all of them.
Okay,
right?
Hold on, please, because you are bringing up. I mean, people are actually putting comments about that. You are making a lot of good points. I want to ask something, but before we do that, we have in the house. I have missed you. I'm not gonna lie. I have missed you. Abby, I have missed you. Kyle, they don't go anywhere because we still have a lot of questions. And that's Sister Vito Bishokodare.
I'm not
Welcome.
going.
I missed you. You just abandoned your baby girl. It's not nice. Okay, so I'm going to come to you very quickly, but I just want to ask a question. Now, where you have, like you will have in some cases, and we've seen it, someone was talking about Nollywood just now. We've seen it in films, and some of us have seen it in real life where, to be honest, the woman has not done anything, or the man hasn't done anything to create any kind of animosity or whatever. But one day, one family member will just come and be like, I wasn't greeted properly. When I came, they offered me Coke instead of Fanta. They didn't vacate their bedroom for me to sleep. They said I should sleep because they only have one room. So they gave me parlor to sleep. Imagine how what kind of, and you're like, and you almost have a desire to be like, fuck off. Just fuck off back to wherever you're coming from. We have enough problems in this house that we are dealing with. We don't need you to come and add Darafisi. But of course, you will never say that to family or especially older members of your family. So you will swallow it and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But inside you, you'll be, wait, who are you? Especially when it's not like your mother, your father, when it's like an auntie, a cousin, you'll be like, I mean, this is what they craze me. You almost want to like go down. When Michelle Obama says when they go down, we go up. You want to go further below the down self. Like, Michelle Obama, are you okay? Come on, really get out of here. But you swallow it down and you take that on, and then that family member now sees it as a victory. And not a victory that they want to take and then go home and be like, oh, I've got my trophy, I've got a victory. They will now turn your house to camp to come and be exercising power. How do you deal with that? So, Sister Ibido, as you're answering, your ideas about surviving bullying, I want you to also consider what I've just said. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone.
Everybody is low. Is it me? I can't hear.
You can hear me? I said good evening, everyone. What is that?
Yeah, Abby, I think it's from your end. It's from your control there. Because I also can't hear myself well. I have to go and bring the speaker closer. And I'm at the maximum. But we can hear you.
Can you hear
Okay.
me now?
I have continue.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
See, when you're talking about marriage, I will start from what we call marriage. And according to the Bible, it says the man will leave his parents and the woman will leave his parents, and two shall join together to become one. And when there was no religion, I think they monitored them with love and harmony, because these are two people bringing up from different family, different environment, different culture, and coming together to live as one. Both the family need to leave two of them together to build their home. How they build it is none of their business. I'm a mother-in-law. I have son-in-law. I have daughter-in-law. I don't intervene in their affairs, but I'll be in support of my daughter-in-law more than my son. Likewise, I've been in supportive of my son-in-law than my own daughter, because I want the house to remain. But for some parents, they see the wife, their daughter-in-law, as somebody who has come to take away their husband. They don't see their son as their son anymore. Oh, since the time she get married to my son, if I talk, my son will not even attend to me. If I leave message before my son could answer me, it will take 3-4 days. Why all this? No, this is a home that started building up. Give them space, give them breathing space. When my daughter-in-law gave birth to the first child, unfortunately, I wasn't around. When the mother was around, I was telling my son, I said, calm down. We are not speaking the same language. Just let them handle things the way it should do. I don't want to intervene, because these are Hausas and we are Yoruba. But thank God for the mother-in-law. The woman just said, please, I've tried my best. This is your responsibility. I'm just helping you. I love that woman. That's what she said. I said, okay, thank you, ma. She never caused trouble between two of them. And whenever our daughter does something, she always behind my son. So two of us were just like that. But some mothers, I don't know what comes off their head. And I've seen some wicked mothers, because they see, this is my glorious child, though. They say she's the one to take care of me. they will not allow that daughter to get married.
Mm.
And some will not allow their son to get married as well. They say, "Joloma follow you.
Go
She's
get
ready to
them
carry those
pregnant and
children."
bring the babies home.
Yes, because he doesn't want the son to be responsible to anybody because he wants to be taking money from that son. So, don't worry, I'll look after my children. After all, they are my grandchildren. Because he knows every penny that his son sweat for will come to her out of selfishness and wickedness. Some
And
mothers
greed.
are like that. Yes, and greed. And some mother-in-law from the woman's side, they say,
See, it's because we have we have more people. Translate what you say in Yoruba,
Yes.
please.
Yes, okay. They say, "Oh, why did you have to marry this person? Oh, he's a lazy man. He cannot even do this. See how he greeted me. See how he behaves when he comes in. Why? You came there maybe to look after the new baby, to show them how to look after the baby when they give birth, being the first experience. You don't need to intervene in their privacy. Leave them, let them build their house. If they bring the matters to you, you just say, look, you people have to pray. See, I will go to my husband's house, or if you people will be continue fighting. I'm not here to say to fight." How you see yourself, how you fall into putting yourself into house, I wasn't involved. So don't involve me in anything that comes up here.
Okay.
Mother should
I hear you on
stand outside here. Excuse me.
But how does that work? Sister Bidu, hold on, please. How does that work with what Kayode is saying about it being a family affair? That before, and you also said before religion, parents helped by bringing in love and harmony. So if you're saying, oh, leave the couple alone to oh, sorry, that's my alarm for my medication. Bear with me. If you're saying, oh, you know what, leave the couple to build their home, is modern times, you don't have to be there, then because some people then substitute their parents with pastors and imams and whatever, just to have that outside influence. Isn't there a gap that is being left? Now again, I'm not married, so I do not have any goat in this fight. I'm just asking questions.
Okay.
Yes, Kayode.
Brother Kayode has something to say about that, I think.
Yes, I was actually going to put in there actually that Sister Ibiru, I think the angle you're talking about is what people want in their mother-in-laws. You will not, well, from your own approach with your
In-laws.
how do I say, with your
In-laws.
counterpart, it will lead to harmony. That's not the type of scenario we're talking about here. We're talking about the other one that you mentioned that you call the wicked. So, and it's for selfish reasons, just like you said. When you are faced with a mother-in-law who is selfish, so you already know that she's going there to introduce drama for selfish reasons. That's what we're talking about. Those are the ones that one needs wisdom to navigate. Then also the mother-in-laws the mother-in-laws who feel that who come from a place where she's supposed to be worshipped. And so your ordinary greeting is not enough. Basically, it's insult. You have not, you did not kneel with both legs. I think you're understanding what I'm saying now, right? So meanwhile, this person, where they grew up from, they hug their hand, they hug their people, but now she managed to do one knee. You are saying or those kind of things. So that's the one that I think that you should talk from that angle. Then the other one, I feel.
Sister Bidu, wait, let Kayode finish.
Just one more thing. I feel that and I heard this once, and it has stayed with me. That a wise thing to do is that has everybody. If you look at professional football, they are professionals. Still, they get a coach. What is a coach telling the best player in the world on how to play football? But he needs a coach. Same thing. The best basketballer in the whole world needs a coach. For marriages, I believe that both of you need to hire a coach.
note, a coach, that coach can be anybody,
Marriage counselor.
but you must both be able to trust that person so that when that person, and you must both be able to see that person as neutral. Now, in this part of the world, in the West, they say therapist. You pay the person to be quiet and to be impartial. That is necessary. In the place where we come from, it makes sense for both of you to be able to agree on somebody. And when I say somebody, look far and wide. Wisdom can come from somebody who is young. Wisdom can, but you both need to be able to agree that we can tell this person our deepest secrets and know that this person will keep it and go to the grave with it. And that when you've hired that person, both of you must always be impartial when you go and sit down with that person. One. Number two, that person should do regular checkups. When I say checkup, the same way you go for your medical checkup yearly, you should be able to sit in front of the person and basically take an assessment. That's if you want the thing to be sweet continuously. So it's, there marriages, there are some you just stay in there, just manage till you die, right? Then there are some, a few actually are very sweet. That very sweet one needs extra effort. That extra effort is what I'm describing now. So that you understand where these things fall. So that person could easily be imam, pastor, but not always so. Sometimes it's just an uncle that is full of wisdom. You know the people, even your friends that like, this is our person. You already use them as your therapist. You have friends like that. You have family like that. Okay. That they're already your therapist. Okay. Whether you never even had the conversation, will you help me? You just go to them all the time. Now, if both of you can agree on that kind of person, then you have something that is good. And now every year, you can basically every 6 months, we just come and sit with you and basically, you ask, have that conversation. So that's the other part. I'll leave everything now.
Okay. Now, Sister Ebidu, before you respond. Okay, Zibi.
Yes.
You they prepare your answer, ba?
For which one?
Not be selecting all of them. I'll be preparing your answer. I'm coming to you.
Okay.
So, continue. Sister Ebidu, continue.
See what Uncle Kayode is saying. In the olden days, when there was love,
so there's no love now.
That, pretenders. Evil.
Auntie Dido.
See, when there was love, that was that Proverbs is working. That you don't have an elderly in the market and a newborn baby's head bent one way or the other. You understand that parables? So in that olden days, when the couples get married, it will be somebody outside the family, an elderly person precisely, that be counseling them. They go for visiting, they go for advice, and they can even invite such an elderly person to come and visit them in their house, spend some hours if it is within the community, or spend some days with them to see how they do. So if you do this next time, and when they want to correct any one of them, they won't allow the other one to be there so that they won't have argument. That thing you did that time, don't do that to your husband again. No, men don't like it. This is what you should do. Oh, I should talk to your wife that time. Women don't like it. They like to be cautioned privately. So don't do that with women. The husband will learn and the wife will learn. You understand? And I've seen sometimes, a situation that happened between my mother-in-law and the wife of the senior brother. The daughter is in this country. They were born here. So Mama went to uncle's house from Oshogbo to Lagos. And then, being a Londoner, Mama don't like that woman. Mama was typical Ekiti woman. Ekiti, they see woman as a slave. They see wife as a slave. Don't mess up when they are in the house. Anything you want to do, just pass through your husband. Say, am I doing it well before I pass it to Mama? Yes. Because I'm going to face hell. So, excuse me. They will talk to you like that.
Mhm. Is that how you were brought up?
Yes. What happened that day was that because Mama didn't like this woman, Mama was sleeping in his room, and suddenly the bulb just exploded and burned off. Hey, Jesus Christ. Mama said, "Ya to kubo lower your globe no yara mi o."
That is the woman that came to break
It
the
was the
globe.
woman that removed the bulb. That's what she said. Then when Daddy got there, Daddy saw the bulb. Daddy said, "No, it wasn't." I said, "No, she came here when I went to the toilet to take the bulb." If I tell you that that's what separated the couples.
Wow.
Mama said, "But I mean, marry yourself in abroad doesn't mean she should come and be boast us, be bullying us here." I said, "My God, what has this woman done for God's sake?" But I want to know the daughter of this man. No, this my daughter's sister-in-law.
May I ask something, please? But
yes.
why would a man who has been having a happy marriage with his wife,
Yes,
in wherever it is they were living, then come to the village or invite his mother over? For some reason, the mother doesn't like the wife, and then she would actually successfully separate them. Isn't that a fault of the man? Because I wanted to ask a question. You said something when you were talking. You said that therefore a man shall leave his mother and father. And we do know that in a lot of Nigerian contexts, men don't leave their fathers and mothers. It's the woman that moves into the house. Hey, I'm just seeing that your husband has joined you. Okay, our father.
Fine, sis.
I want to hear your view. So you find that, especially in Yoruba lands, rarely does a man leave his parents' house. It's always the woman
you're
moving
talking
in.
like a British woman.
Yes. No, it's question. No, I'm only asking question.
Yoruba will tell you that it is me that carried this baby for 9 months, beating the stomach, touching
Did
the
the woman fall from the sky?
Oh my goodness. The woman is using every power that God has given her to turn the life of to turn the head of the son or whatever. So no.
Okay, Sister Yemi, Sister Yemi, WH said the man and most of these men have no balls. That they do not have, like when it comes to their mother, they cannot talk. Their mother be slaughtering their wife. They'll just stand there, mommy, please. But this is the question. The girl didn't fall from the sky. A woman too carried her for 9 months. And when they were coming to marry her, they knelt down. For sure in our house is the husband that washes clothes, is the husband that, and then when the girl gets into the house, they'll start to torture her. Well, I don't understand that relationship. So please, who is Zibi? Before Sister Ibidu, before you continue, Zibi, do you have any or God? Do you have any?
I think it would be nice for him to say something here.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Please go on.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sister Abby. How are you doing?
Good evening. So nice to
Good
see
evening.
you.
Sorry, I just joined now, but I think I caught a couple of things that you said. So, with regards this particular topic, is quite interesting. But what I'll say is, I think it's commonplace that many men, unfortunately, in these parts, are unable to, like someone said earlier, stand up to their mothers and actually tell them the truth. It's not about this. Has nothing to do with taking sides. You just have to say it the way it is. You don't unjustly treat someone else's child and then let it slide because it's your mother who is doing it. It is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. So I think, like someone said, some men don't have the balls to actually, say what is as it is. You don't allow. I would. There's nothing under the sun that would allow me, permit any human, my mom, my father, my siblings, nobody, to maltreat my wife. I will not take it. It cannot happen. Not on my watch. No culture, no tradition can make me bend to that point. There has to be another way, and it has to be respectful, not forcing things down my throat. So this is my own take.
I think the Yoruba woman has a master class in guilt. They are Jewish mothers, they're on the same level. Because I know you're saying, oh, there's nothing, but there's something about, and I'll let Kayode take on from where there's something about, and there are people who are saying, thank you very much for that comment, by the way. People are actually leaving comments saying, thank you for the comment. But especially with Yoruba people, and I'm saying Yoruba because I am Yoruba and I've seen it happen. I saw it happen with my uncle. My uncle was married for almost 15 years with his wife. Unfortunately, they had problems with giving birth and everything. Something just wasn't working. They were both tested, everything was fine. And from day one, my grandmother didn't like my uncle's wife because she was light skinned. That was her only crime, oh. She was light skinned, and it was just, she didn't even come from Ijebu. It wasn't even an Ijebu thing. It was because they are Egba. So it wasn't even an Ijebu thing. It wasn't a tribal thing. It was the color of her skin that she was light skinned. And and this woman, oh my God. She's, of course, my uncle's passed on. They divorced before my uncle passed on, but I don't think I've ever loved someone brought into my family the way I love that woman. Like, I would happily leave our house in Ikeja with all his mud cons and go and stay with them in Mushin where they were having pit toilets. Because that woman was love. She was amazing. I'm still hoping to find her one day because no. You know, when some people are just angels. But in my grandmother's eye, this woman was the biggest devil. There was nothing this woman, if she were good, she has spent all my son's money. This woman was working in a bank while my uncle was a mechanic. No, as in, even socially, they are not even on the same wavelength. But to my grandmother, she was spending her son's money. If she mistakenly can talk Oyinbo in one place, hey, wahala. You know, like, there was nothing this woman could do. There was nothing she could do right. And they eventually pressured my uncle, which brought a lot of disappointment to people like me, my older sister, my dad. Were really disappointed in my uncle that how could you, after everything this woman has done, they shall manage, did all the whole thing, went and brought one dark smally and palmed her with my uncle. Next thing, she had a baby. Then they invited my auntie. Me, I wasn't there, but I got the gist. They invited my auntie to come, and they were like, "Oh, carry this child." Say, and then you know how Yoruba people would do. They'll be like, "Hey, as you carry this child there, the head that brought this child into your house will give you your own too. They will not be using conny to be talking on that and everything." And she went there with her father because they told her to come with a family member. So she went there with her father. And she cottoned on that they were telling her, this is your son, your husband's son. So she looked at her husband and was like, is this true? Is this child I'm carrying your son? So my uncle is shaking in the corner and everything. And then the girl came, she came and knelt down, and please accept me. And this one, that one, that one. She took the baby, she prayed for the baby, everything, handed the baby over, lambasted everybody in the room, told them about themselves. I told her father, oh yeah, it's time to go. And she packed her load and left. About a year later, she jammed one Igbo guy. The guy just gave her goose, twins. She just came out with twins. I was like, because there was nothing they didn't call this woman. They called her every shade of barren. So when you see men like that, and my uncle's an amazing man, fantastic man, but when it came to his mother, he was a weak man. And it is very prevalent amongst Yoruba people. How do you deal with that? So Kayode, your hand was up.
Yeah. So there is something about the relationship between a mother and a son, or sons. There are some sons that are, they were independent early. There are some sons that they were already in primary one and they were still sucking the mother's breast. That's the reality. All right. Because, again,
Mommy's
because
boy.
that's because No, it's not a bad thing. Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Actually, the
No,
one
I'm
guy,
not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just
uh-huh,
imagining a primary one child sucking.
yes, yeah, there's some like that. When they come back
Mommy's
from
boy now.
school,
We
they
call them
will,
mommy's boy.
yes, they'll breastfeed them. So, and those people too are entitled to marry, is where I'm going with this. Now, there are some mothers who have they were in the trenches with the child when that child struggled in life. That child is going to be tied to that mother for the rest of his life, and they exist and they are real, and you cannot separate them from their mother. Now, the first mistake is the fact that this woman did not court the mother first before courting the son. That's the first mistake. So that has occurred. That mistake has occurred already, because if she had courted the mother first, the mother will not become an enemy in the house. Instead, what most likely happened was that she went and stole the mother's heart without asking for permission to take him away. Right? So let's say that has happened. What can the boy in that man, right, will always listen to the mother's voice. That's why there are some women, as old as they are, when they step into that house, that man who is looking tough, who is like the man that everybody is fearing, becomes a small boy. Let me even give you an illustration. There was somebody who was a very top general in the armed forces in Nigeria. He and his mother were arguing. The mother said, I brought you into this world, I can take you out.
My mother said that to me many times.
No, I'm saying she's talking to a general in the army, right? Why? Because she can always reach the boy on the inside, and that exists. So it's not a question of, okay, yeah, some people say he doesn't have balls, but there's a reason why he doesn't have balls when it comes to his mother. Now, what can he do is the question, all right? That's what I'm trying to answer here.
Yeah.
What he can do is that, because that mother will always be able to use emotional blackmail on him, all right? That will always be possible. He needs to adopt the same method in dealing with his mother if he wants her to stop the onslaught on his wife. Go into the room with her, lock the door, and basically tell her you are thinking of committing suicide if this woman leaves you. You emotional, yeah, because you understand the closeness, right?
So you use blackmail to counter blackmail.
You use the same game on her. If you don't have if you are not able to say, oh, this must stop in my house and all that, you use the same game on her. Enter the room, lock the door, that mama, translate. Okay. It's just an example. I'm not saying that's the thing, but you can basically go in and say that, mama, if this wife of mine leaves me because she's troubled, know that it is my dead body that you will carry. Because you remember that in the same vein, it is those kind of women that will say, breast that I used to feed him that he sucked till he was in primary 2, the stomach that I carried him 9 months. Those are you I don't know if you understand how the effect that has on a man who knows that his mother was in the trenches with him. He's lost he doesn't have any ability to say no to that kind of person. So play the same game. Because she feels that closeness, then go and tell her that this woman, it looks like she's packing and she wants to leave. That if she doesn't stop her, let her know that it is dead baby or dead son that she will have to bury you. Then leave her and watch. Then you have to do some good drama too. You bring the drama at the same level at which it was brought to you.
The same energy.
The same energy. Just make sure your wife is not there, because your wife will not understand. She will think both of you are crazy. But sometimes craze requires craze for solution, right? And then watch her, because now it's not about the woman anymore. It's about the fact that this son that she's looking at, that if you want to step it up, go and take sleeping pills, just the one that will knock you out for 5 hours. Then make sure that you leave the bottle and a note, mama.
But okay, fine. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I can see the Ananis talking. So I'm going to go back to them. Sister Bito, I haven't forgotten you. But but you will see some mothers who will actually take that and actually turn it into something else. They'll be like, I said it. This
Mhm.
woman has given my son a four, and now
Yes.
he's ready to
Yes,
kill himself.
yes,
That
Yes.
kind,
yes.
so then it becomes worse because it's
Well,
now no longer the mother alone, it is now
yeah.
the entire family.
Then,
Family.
well, no. So wait, in that instance, right? Because remember, you're trying different things, so you're using the same emotional blackmail. If it goes south, there is an uncle in the family. There are people who actually understand that this your mother is drama, or there are some uncles who know that my sister is drama. You understand? For those people, you can tell them what's going on, so that they join in the drama to pressure your mom to allow you have peace.
Sister
That
Bitu, if your nephew came and said, my mom's been bugging my life, and so I put this stunt, but it's like the thing wants to turn left, oh, please come and join me to add to the drama so that my mom will leave me, so your sister will leave me. Will you join?
Definitely, what I will do is very simple. Me, I think since the day you know me, I know I'm very blunt and very tough when it comes
Mm.
to tackling with things. I will tell you straight as my auntie or whatever you call yourself. Do you want to go to bed with your son? Because I don't know your duty in this house. I think you got your own husband. If you want to marry your son, let's all family know that you are the one marry your son. No. So we tell the woman to go back to her house. So they
Mm.
always
so
say, "Oh,
what
your
what
mind
that
is not
means is
even
that,
good. The way
yeah,
you are, the way you talk, I don't even like it."
the mother
And then,
that mother will not find any support is what you are getting, right? Because there are people in the family that understand this is how my sister is. You understand? So anything that is going to help with, look, someone like Sister Ibidun will basically say, Kilo data, and why are you a problem in that? She will,
yes,
so the extended family she wants to call will turn on her. That
Okay.
Onyensin, you are now going to cause the guy to be thinking of suicide. If anything happens to you, know that we'll tell the whole village that you are the one that caused it. That is
yes,
emotional
yes.
support. You will get. He's going to get actually more support.
Okay, so the
And then when
Ananis,
you're
people
talking
are
that,
waiting to hear what you've got to say.
see, I
Okay,
have experience when I met the father of my children because I'm from Ibadan, they're from Ekiti. They say, "Oh, why did you have to go and marry from Ibadan? It is there you get OJ. It is there they get Manoto. They are not straightforward people." I was looking at them as if I was watching drama. I thought they are joking, but I thank God for for my mind. He just looked at all of them, and we went there to bury his mom. Give me food now. They said, "Who wants you here? We can't marry you here." I just took my bag as I'm leaving. Then he said, "Everybody, look here. Whoever choose for your wife for you?" They said, "Nobody." He said, "Please don't choose for me." I said, "That they choose for you or not, I'm going." He said, "Please." When I get back to Lagos, he came back to me really. And when I was ill, when I get back to my first son, when they came say, "Oh, Yabolaji, you have to do this, you have to do." I said, "Excuse me, I beg your pardon. I'm your daughter-in-law. I'm not a slave in this house." They say, "Hey, Iyawo Yabo, bó ṣe mí sọ̀rọ̀ sí a," I didn't even answer them.
now look at the
One
way
of
she's
the
speaking
auntie
to
can
us.
say, Leni, he's going to leave your house. I say, "See, you can take your son away, please. I will have my peace of mind." Ask him, I'm an iron lady. I don't care what happened here. He said, "Please, all of you, just leave this woman alone. Because he's ready to deal with you one after the other. He won't keep quiet." I said, "Yes, they don't know me." And he said, "She won't keep quiet though. She will answer you, give you your package as you are bringing it."
Okay.
Then the so-called last born came to stay with us. She said, "Oh, why did I have to cook rice? I have to make a bar or prepare pounded yam and make good okra soup as they are eating." I said, "Look, you are in Lagos. This is not a kitty. You have to go back to your kitty and eat whatever you want to eat. And if you want to eat such a food, tell your brother to give you money to prepare such." No, it is. I'm talking from experience. I passed through all those
Yeah.
things, and I stood on my feet.
So
All of
that's what
them,
I'm
I
saying.
said, I don't want
Another
anybody.
method is to have the
I
clash.
don't want
This
anybody
clash
in my house.
all of them.
But the thing is, and I'm going to go to Anani's here because people have been saying they want to hear from them. The thing is, when you have someone who knows who they are, is shout like me now. I think it's one of the reasons why I've just stayed by myself because I know when. You understand? So
You
for someone to
will.
not be telling
This
me,
year you
oh,
must get
I
married.
carried
I'm
my
coming to
son,
you.
I carried my son for 9 months. I'm like, you even had the opportunity to carry your son for 9 months. Go ask my mother how many months she carried me. Look, I'm a highly valued, precious child because by every
Oh my
instance I was
God.
not supposed to make it. So that I've made it. You in fact you should be carrying me hands and legs, not that you'll be stressing my life. So, and I know that if there's some mothers that if I came, I know some men who they met me, liked me, they were like, oh, this is the kind of girl I like to get married to. Then months in, they realize that this girl doesn't take nonsense. And I know my mother is going to bring plenty nonsense. I can't marry her because I can't stand to see my mother be told or be put in her place. Because someone actually told me that said, Abby, I really like you. And honestly, you're the kind of girl I want to, but I know you and my mother will clash because you're both pig-headed. And that was the reason why that relationship didn't work. So going to you, what is it? So if a man is looking at this show now and is wondering, I really love that Mr. Anani. I want to be like him. I want to be able to, stand for my wife. But my mother, how will I tell my mother? What is your advice? So consider that amongst the things that you're going to say when you're addressing this, please.
Okay.
It's you.
Okay. All right. So I think the first thing we all need to understand is that we have people coming from different places with different backgrounds entirely. Mommy raised her son a particular way, and maybe he got interested in a lady from an entirely different culture, ethnic group, and whatnot. And then this is someone he finds attractive and he feels he would like to spend the rest of his life with. Her coming in to join the family, even the mother should understand that someone who I did not raise, was not from my belly, is the person I'm dealing with. After all, that mother deals with other market women. She deals with other people. She does not chastise them for not acting in the same manner as her own children do, if you understand what I mean. So in the first place, there has to be some level of understanding that this person is coming from somewhere else. And then now when we want to go to the area of mothers who are having a very strong hold of their sons, and there are many of them intentionally, emotionally blackmailing their sons. And I in all honesty, we might say, okay, that's their way of trying to get their son to do their bidding, but it is wrong. It is so wrong. So if eventually that emotional blackmail destroys their son's happiness, to what end does it serve them? How does it make them feel? Would it make them feel fulfilled? No. So yes, mothers and sons can have a bond, but the sons also need to understand what their first responsibility now is. Look, I know this might be some kind of unpopular opinion, and people might say I'm coming out, too hard on maybe mothers and whatnot, but the truth is the truth. You've had your time with your mom. I'm not saying you cut your mom off. As a matter of fact, I'm not saying send her far from you. But if her interfering or being, around your family is going to cause unhappiness in your family, it's best for you to let her understand that she needs to give you some room. It's not being rude. It's not being bad. It's not you showing her less love. No. I want to give you an example. This is my wife. And this is going to be I'm going to be talking about my late father. Now, my father was so hard that we didn't have a good relationship growing up. It got so bad that my wife, this is after getting married, would greet my dad knowing he would not answer the greeting. And there was not one day that passed, that my dad saw my wife and he did not greet him. And trust me, immediately after greeting him and him snubbing her, she would cry. That brought me a lot of pain. She didn't want to come to the family house. She didn't want to visit. But after a while, I was still, cajole her and tell her, please, you know how he is now, that kind of thing. I tried to talk to the man a couple of times, but he just wouldn't hear me out because he was not even in good terms with me. And he was taking it out on her and even my little daughter who was less than a year old. Yeah. These things made me unhappy. And in a bid to kind of solve this whole mess, I had to create some space because the more my wife cried, the more she felt unwanted and unhappy, and she was doing everything in her power to please everyone around her. So I had to create something. Of course, when that happened, there were talks like he's giving chance. He's no longer coming around as often. He's not bringing his family around anymore. But nobody was, really considering what was going on. Now, if in the end she could not take it anymore and she walked and the marriage ended, there will be no Louis and Zibi today talking about what we're talking about right now. Yeah. So I think it's really important for everybody, all the parties involved, the man, the woman, and the mother, or whoever, maybe even the father of the married couple, to understand that there are limits to how they must, interfere. And men, I would say this, and I would say it again. You need to be able to stand for your wife. It is too important. Because you have your mother standing in front of you does not mean your wife deserves to be insulted. You can tell her, mommy, please stop it. I was here. This woman has done nothing wrong to you. Why? You don't have to. You don't always have to be diplomatic. I know that's what everybody will want to say, but you don't always have to be diplomatic. There are times when you know that this is not called for. She has taken these hits too much. What if she's the one that does the lashing out? Who would you blame? Then they will say she was being disrespectful. So before it gets to that, take a stand, because your wife is looking at you and saying, okay, because his mother is because it's his family, I will definitely not get any support. No. At some point, you have to come in and stand. And that does not mean after talking to you, telling your mom that you're not going to behind closed doors and speak to her, mommy, please, this is my wife. This is someone that makes me happy. Do you want me to be happy? Then stop coming hard at her. What is it that you want me to tell her so she can do better for you? You don't have to come with an attack all the time. But some mothers don't want to know. All they want to do is attack because she's not from your, from your area.
Yeah, very
This is my take, but yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I
was laughing his head off.
I just laughed. I laughed because at that point where he was talking about, telling the mommy, stop. What you don't understand about that level of emotional blackmail is that you know that if you say that, you say, oh, he's on our side. Then basically, the whole she will now burst into tears. Since that the drama is going to go a step higher if you dare intervene at that time. So that's actually why I laughed that you have.
I think Abby, please, can I ask Mr. Kayode a question?
Yes.
Okay, let's paint a scenario here now. Let's imagine the dramatic mom just finished this tantrum now.
Yes.
What would you say would be the best approach? How do you think it can be better handled? Do you think
for the son or the wife?
For the son, because also having looking at what happened to us in our own case, the reason why I would repeatedly want to greet my father-in-law was not because I was that super trained, or maybe it was because I was cool-headed or my head was not hot. It was because of the respect I had,
How?
For him.
or I have, yes, for my husband, and then the union, the bond we have. That was the reason why I kept doing it. Even there was a time the mom was even saying, it's okay, must you even greet? You know,
Which is also, see, the part I was going to throw in there, because I remember when Abby was saying that she's the type that will put the mother in her place and all that. I'm like,
yeah.
you're not, in my mind, I'm thinking you're not ready yet. It is the
No,
diplomacy.
I didn't say I'm the type. I said I'm the type
No.
that will struggle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
So
be treated as
anyway,
if I wasn't somebody.
I wanted to highlight something. The fact that you kept coming every time to kneel again and to greet, whether your husband tells you or not, is one of the reasons why your husband decides that this woman said, I'm staying with her. Partly, no, I just realized I don't have the right to speak on behalf of what your husband is thinking. But it's that kind of action.
I understand.
So let me rephrase. It's that kind of action that makes a man decide that this woman will not leave this house, because our reaction is always different, right? Now, what will I do, or what will I advise somebody who is my friend?
If he was persistent, yes.
If it is father, right?
Yeah.
Again, you need to go into that. You need to go into that room, lock the door, and say, let us talk this thing. Nobody's leaving this room.
My father will shoot you.
Yes, his dad would shoot.
My father would shoot.
Honestly, yes.
It is, so let it be. So what the way I see it is that, again, I believe in craze. All right, I believe in craze, basically meeting with craze. All right, I'm serious. It's not an everyday thing, but when you want to stop it and the person is crazy, you have to match again. I know it's not easy, but I feel that is necessary. Except you also were scared of him. Otherwise, go into that room and let it be known that he shot his gun. Yes, let it be. Give him the gun. No, I'm serious. Except you really think you would pull the trigger. Give him a hand. So now, then the other, the flip side of it is that if you are, and it is possible that one is totally scared of him, right? Let's say everybody understands this is crazy. Then, honestly speaking, the next thing is to protect your family. They should not be around him. That's the other thing I'll tell somebody. I believe that you should give somebody as long the rope, and then at a point in time, you cut it suddenly and fully. You basically
burn the cable.
No, let me tell you how I say it. I usually make sure when I'm going to burn a cable, I make sure I have a very peaceful conversation where it is expressly stated that just in case in future this thing is not properly understood, once I walk out of this place, you will not see me again. Right? Because honestly speaking, if I am too scared to come to you as my dad because you are capable of shooting me, what am I doing around you? What am I doing around you, and why am I exposing my family to you? If I am scared of you to that level where I can't shock if truly the fear that I have of somebody is to the point where I believe that they will harm me if I intentionally say we must talk about this, then I am not supposed to expose somebody else's daughter where I go carry from their house that I will protect with my life, and the child that I have brought forth into the world, whose responsibility is mine to die for if the need arises, and expose that person to somebody in the name of any name whatsoever that is capable of bringing harm. So if we're talking extremes, you take extreme action. If we're talking of drama, we all do drama. Let everybody come to Jesus cry. Then let us all hug after and try and be mutually respectful of each other. They are all have solution. You understand? All have solution. And that goes for whether it is mother or father. If I'm really scared that I can't come to you, I can't get anybody to talk to you, why are we in the same space? Why? For what? For birthday, I'll come alone. You don't like my family. For what? Family gathering, I'll come alone. Why? You don't like my family. I think you will harm them. This is you point in when the whole family attacks you, you attack back. This man will shoot my wife. And if you are scared, then cut off. You have options. It's me. Oh, sorry, that was my in summary. That's my answer.
I think you answered, Mr. Kyle, you answered the question already.
I'll put myself in that state. Sorry, go on.
No, I think you answered the question. So if it's not in favor of yourself or your family, then just cut off. I think you just answered it. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
favor
I have
depends.
to introduce
Depends again. If
Sister
it's extreme,
Yemisi.
you
She's
cut.
joined
If
us.
it's not
Sister
extreme,
Yemisi,
you bring the
unmute
drama.
yourself, please.
Good evening, everybody.
She's been putting
Good
comments,
evening,
but
Auntie
I think say
Yellow.
she sees say make I come. Putting
I
comments where you
agree.
have to come.
Good to see you.
It's so nice
Ma.
to see you.
Good evening.
Mr. Kayode, I
You
love
are
your
welcome.
submission. The
Really.
analysis, fantastic. I really respect you a lot for what you
Thank
have
Good
you.
said.
evening, ma'am.
I think it has been very interesting. I'm going to tell you a story of my family. And not me, but somebody I know very well, whose mother never liked his wife. And this is people I know one-on-one. And the wife used to tell us that her husband, that's my uncle, will beg her not to say a word to his mother. And he was an only child. But he didn't like this woman because she came from a state in Nigeria that she just didn't like. Not that there was anything wrong with her. Like you have all said, there's no reason. They just pick something. She didn't like that the woman was from Ikiti State. Finish. And she was Ijebu. Oto. That was the end. And the son loved this woman. And they are still together till today. 58 years of marriage. But for the first 8 years of their marriage, this man never did it. The mother-in-law never did the traditional marriage of the son's wife. And they had 4 children. When the eldest daughter was 7.5, they said the man's mom really liked that daughter, loved her as a matter of fact. And so the mama's younger brother, because she had a younger brother, used to take the children to go and visit her because the son's wife dared not go near her. Typically Ijebu woman, she will abuse her to her mother's house and to her father's house. So on one occasion when they took the daughter to visit, she was so happy and she was calling people in neighborhood to come and see her fine grandchildren. The brother now said to her that, which grandchild daughter are you carrying up and down? She the child that nobody will marry. Say this your son's pikin wey curse don't dey all their family. Say they don't curse the family already. You marry the mama ni. Since you don't marry the mama, nobody go marry any of these your grandchildren. So what is all this calling people to come and help you dance? Your grandchildren are around. Say the woman cried that day. Said that was what her brother told her. True life story, my auntie told us the story. He said that was the week they organized her traditional wedding.
Bam.
That this woman who never wanted to see her called for her family list and everything. So she survived it because the woman loved her grandchildren. And the grandchildren, beautiful. All of them adults. Now, if you see my cousins, fine people, really handsome children. So, but she died about a year after this traditional wedding. But in that 1 year, she changed towards this woman. But how did my uncle handle it? My auntie said anytime the mother is even coming to visit, my uncle will tell her to leave the house, go to the neighbor's house. That just like Mr. Kayode said, take the woman away from the danger, which was what she said my uncle did. That if his mother comes even suddenly, she will run out through the kitchen. My uncle will say, oh, yeah, Leave the house, leave the house. She has arrived. Maybe she's at the front door.
Get out.
Just leave the house. He took this woman away from his mom. And she could come early in the morning, like 5 a.m. when they are preparing to go to work and go to school. But she survived it to an extent. And that's one of the stories I have. The second one was war. They will come and pack this woman's things out of her husband's house. It went that far. The man rented her an apartment, said there was no way he's going to leave her because he went to marry her from her parents and rented an apartment for her, and he now moved into a one room. He never let anybody know where his wife and children were living. He started living in one room on his own. That was the address he gave his mother and his family. And because it was one room, nobody came there looking for him. Meanwhile, they go sleep for the wife's house, but he would spend time there as well. Well, how do you deal with surviving bullies? You see, the thing is, it depends on how negative and diabolical such family is going to. Some of these mothers-in-law, they are not, you see, this is another dimension that I'm bringing in, the spiritual dimension. Some of these people are just diabolical. They go into all sorts. If you believe in God, either as a Muslim or a Christian, then you must also know that as good exists, evil exists.
Sure.
As we pray to God in the spirit, so must you understand that there are evil spirits. So anybody who doesn't believe that diabolical things exist, me, I will tell you, I know say they exist. And people will go to any level sometimes to get rid of a wife or a husband. We're even talking about wives. What about husbands that the wife's family don't like? That we insult that the man has nothing. That they were abusing for money tonight. Yet they want money from him. They want this from me. He's not what an in-law. They will even go and bring husband for their daughter and be telling the man right in front of him that they are not even going to accept his bride price. I have seen it. How do you handle such? My answer, like Mr. Akoni, Anani has said, and even Mr. Kadi, even you, Auntie Ayayigo, is that a man or the woman must protect their own marriage. If the two of them do not protect themselves, they will lose. Because at the end of the day, either your mother or your father that is against your wife or your husband, they are not looking at you. They are not even seeing you. They are not interested in you. They are only interested in what they want. I saw it in my own marriage. It's my mother-in-law wasn't even interested in if my husband was happy or not. That was not her business. As long as she was happy. Kokon. You see, and until you see through that, sometimes it's difficult. So like Mr. Akoni said, until you have to defend that person you want to bring from outside, whether it's a woman or a man, you have to defend that person because now you go bring and come. But you see, a lot of men cannot even handle that because they are being managed by master manipulators. These women are master manipulators. So I do agree with you. Sometimes we're laughing when we're real. That is not crazy now with the answer crazy. I'm a dassy rough me. If you are bringing rough to my wife, I will bring rough. But you see, there are some times when this rough goes safe. Sometimes you have to hang the rough and just use Connie. Make Connie man die, make Connie man bury him. Like the man who went to get another house, told his family he don't leave the wife. Move them where he was moving from, move them into a different apartment, rented one room. I said that is where he's staying. So anytime they came to meet him there. He had neighbors there that he don't beg. They bribe the children there. Anytime anybody came, they will go and call him that Mama has arrived, your brother has arrived. He furnished the one room. He did that for 4 years.
And if they have the nerve to ask him, so when are you getting married? Say, me. Bring another person.
Hello. Oh, well, they send me money. Oh, he's not interested in marriage. He has done vasectomy. It was that bad.
Is that why he told them that he's done
Yes, no. Yes, no. But he actually did. He actually did a vasectomy. He said, don't worry, be mama only for more kokolo. Then his mother started begging him. He said he will bring out his pee let them see where he has snipped it. Because he did it.
Damn.
He actually did a vasectomy. No, not the joke. I know him.
I mean, for
like,
someone to be
The
Mama,
mother,
point.
his mother started begging him to go and bring the children.
Mama, ẹjẹ́ kí n fi hàn yín. Irọ́, àní ẹjẹ́ fi hàn yín sẹ́.
Ẹjẹ́ fi hàn yín, mo ti gay. So the mother started begging him to go and bring the children from his wife. From his wife. And he said he cannot. No, Zibi,
you see what I go through?
It's not he said them say.
Are you going to interpret that for people who cannot understand?
He's just shooting blanks. It's not me saying no
An
stand.
interpretation. He's not biological. He's not.
It's
There's no
not
erectile dysfunction.
at all. He just stand being. It's just a bullet, no day there. He cannot have children. She started begging him to go and bring the children from the other woman. He said he cannot bring the children without the mother. That she not even want to see him again. That the woman don't vex. Now, like, he was still married to the woman. When the woman stewed, she did 70th birthday, no grandchild beside her. She repented. So that one now the answer of Connie man die. Connie man bury him.
In short,
There's
always
always a way. Grace no work. He called her grace. Grace no work. So you see, it depends on the people involved in that marriage. That is my own. That is where I agree with
I
you.
think that's why it's important to make sure.
If he's not confident enough to face his mother, if he's not confident enough to face his mother because he's being manipulated, if he really loves his wife and his children, there will always be a way.
Yes.
So those men that sit back and watch their mothers torture their partners, they
because some of these men themselves, excuse my language, they themselves they don't even know what they want. They're probably busy chasing skirts. Even at that point, maybe they themselves don't even want to be married. I come to the conclusion that a man that allows your family to chase your wife away or change wife for you, you yourself, you're
not ready. You're not
ready. Because you just be jumping from women.
Actually, he might want that, but not to be able to implement. So his mother is actually helping him.
Thank you. Mr. Kayode, don't finish the story for me. Yes, because they're actually using their mothers to get rid of these women. That's the way I see it. Because a man who really wants to keep his wife, there's nothing you can do. He will not quarrel with his mother. He will just play her the way she's playing him, like Mr. Kayode said earlier on.
After all, if the father had gone and he likes the woman, he will use he knows how he will sneak around the fact that he can get shots to get the woman, Abby. So is it now somebody in that he has officially married that somebody? No, you don't want. If you want, you will not allow them to treat her like that. Ways to keep the person. You just don't.
I know a girl just before I run away. This woman that I told you the story earlier on, that there are women whose husbands too are not welcome. Because when the guy was going to marry her, this one is a friend of mine. The girl went to negotiate bride price and traditional, put her own stuff there. Her family felt they were shortchanged. They never respected the husband. And she really liked the guy. And she believed in the future with the guy. She was ready to do things with the guy. The luck she had was the guy was ready to also stay with her. Because there are some men who will walk away from it after some time. But the guy used to say, he used to tell us, her friends, that after all she has done for him, that he can't walk away. He will stand by her. And he stood by her. And he helped her fight the war. You understand? He got a stage, she stopped going home. Christmas, parties, anything they did at home, she would just stop going. After a while, her father will call her. Fortunately for her, unfortunately for the father got sick, very sick. And none of the other family members could take the man into their house at that time for maybe distance or whatever, or ability. She was at the end of the day, was the same person who got her father in her house, courtesy of her husband. And to make matters worse, now the husband, they wash the man. Without operating here, because the girl said, I cannot be washing my father's PP now. It's my father. And you know, where money is not in so much abundance, you will only do what you can to help.
Yes.
So it was her husband who will take care of Papa in the morning before he goes to work. In Papa's first negativity at that time, when they said they were going to bring the man home, we were scared for them. But the guy said, bring him. There's nothing we can do. And he will take care of the Baba before he goes to work in the morning. The same man that was cursing him when this thing started, that he was helping him dress up, have a bath, will abuse him for 1 hour while it was going on. In less than 6 months, he was the one blessing him. Because even his own sons did not show. By the time Baba got well, and Baba went back to his own village, you could not tell him that the guy was not his son. He actually officially named him his firstborn. The guy won. He won out of love. He won out of patience. He won out of support for his wife. And today, this same guy that nobody wanted to see, he was the one that buried the man. He said if he dies, now that guy must come and carry him to mortuary. He doesn't care. None of his boys must touch him. That when he was sick, he didn't see them.
It's like you're talking about my mother and my paternal grandmother.
This happened in Lagos. No be them talk, no be them say. I will just not.
It's my mother that buried my paternal grandmother, and while my dad was alive, my dad used to tell her that the way you are treating this woman, don't be surprised that she'll be the one who will bury her. And be like, lie, it will never happen.
It was
And
the
my
guy
dad
that buried
died,
him.
and she's the one that buried her. She's the one that buried her because she outlived her husband and her 2 children. So it was
This
like,
one, he didn't even outlive anything. The man died at 76. He was really sick. They only prolonged his life for about 4 or 5 years. After a while, the cancer came back. He died. But you see, what you cannot use grace and cunning to deal with, sometimes patience and love and acceptance
wears it away
and support will manage it. That's where I'm going. So it all depends on if people really want to stay together. If you really don't want to stay together, you will aid your mother in aiding your wife to go. So, my submission.
Thank you so much. We are actually at time because we spent 2 hours, and I want to quickly read all the comments because as you've all been talking, comments have been flying in. So I'm just going to quickly read out all the comments. So Toya Mozopia said, "Hello everyone," and then Sister Yemisi Guajamiale said, "Happy Easter, Abby and all. Nice topic, elbow cough." And then Shitu Fora said, interesting conversation. It takes the 2 involved to keep interference from in-laws at all time low. And then Sister Yemisi said, "We watch Nollywood and learn from it. It is art imitating life, never ending stories." And then Toya Mozopia said, a lot of good points being made. That was when Kayode was speaking. And then, of course, yourself, Sister Yemi, you've come on the show, but this was your comment. Say, why do they ask from their daughters what their own daughters
can't do?
That's what I wanted to say. There are some and some are just bad. And then you also said only their son can protect his wife and the wife can protect her husband. They must be strong enough and confident in each other to protect themselves from the in-laws. And then just trying to, so then when I was asking about men who don't leave their mothers wrappers and all of that, you said men and most of them don't have no balls, Abby. And then sister, yeah, oh, also you said these mothers are master manipulators, just wicked women who won't even want their sons to be happy. That is true. Sister Ibido, you said something about some mothers who see their children as insurance policies, that look, this is the child that's going to take care of me till I die. So if this child now goes to go and marry somebody, the money that's supposed to spend on me will not be spent on one woman and her children. So it's now one woman and her children, not even thinking that this is a woman who's going to give birth to my line continuing. They don't see it that way, and they're not interested. And then Sister Sigma Jamila said, Nikini, that was when that was when oh god. Who is talking? It's like, what? You were not insult my wife, how dare you? And then you said thank you, sir, to him. And then when they were talking about some mothers, when Kayode was saying that you entered the room and give him the gun. I said no baton. I said yes, so Chris, jam Chris. And then you also said that answer has been saving marriages since 19.
That was from Higher Eagle.
Yes,
she said,
yes. When he said, "Do you want to marry your husband? Do you want to marry your child? You want to marry him? He's your child, yes, but he has to have a wife." So do you want to marry him? Then Sister Yemi said it doesn't always work sometimes. These parents are always right. In their eyes, they're the only ones that are right. Nobody else knows anything. Then Dr. Senus came and said, when I see this matter, I'm sorry, multitasking. Kayode is in military mode. He said, happy Easter, everyone. Then he said, interference is not love. Managing relationships is tricky, but there's no black or white. The bottom line, a wife is a wife, mother is mother. Keep them separate.
correct.
Then he said, however, the fact is that fathers can also make a son-in-law feel as if he was never a good choice. That is true. Families can make or break a relationship if the couple allow them. It is sad. And that is true. Unfortunately, I have been in many relationships where the man was like, no, it's my mom, and it's always my mom. Like that should be enough of an answer. It's my mom. So even if she's kicking you about the pace, it's my mom. Like, okay, that's not a good enough answer. And he said it can lead to permanent family rift, even when the relationship is over. Because again, there's that thing between even the child and the parents, And in real terms, it is best that a couple grow first before any family even puts mouth, if that. It happens too in the abroad. Okay, so it said it happens too in the abroad if the couples are mismatched socially and financially, and can happen with forceful friends. That is true. I mean, I've said it many times on this show. I was engaged to a white guy, and we were very much in love and all of that. But then his family were like, "No, we thought you were experimenting." And black girl, you will not marry a black girl. And we thought it was a joke. 2 months to our wedding, the whole thing was over. So yeah, it doesn't matter that. So in case anyone is going Africa, no, it happens regardless of age, race. I know someone who's potential mother-in-law was like, lie, you're older than my son. Never, not by a lot, but they were in love, and the mother did not care. With love, what do you know about love? See, you're going to go and marry your older sister's mates. At least he's not marrying his mother's mate. Which one is so yeah. Dr. Senu says it's experimenting. No, Dr. Senu, we actually weren't even having sex because we're having a Christian relationship. Now, after the relationship was over, I will leave it there.
You went and did the do.
But while we were in the relationship, we actually never had sex. We wanted to wait till our wedding day. Then when the wedding day
Oh,
be up
okay.
now. So yeah, thank you so much, every single person that has joined. Today's show has been fantastic, I must say. I was scared because I was like, I never married, I don't know what to say. But honestly, I have learned so much. So I want to say massive thank you to Mr. H, to Sasha, to the Ananis, Louis and Zibi, to Sister Ibido, Sister Yemisi, Sister Yemisi Gbajabiamila, Kayode, of course, my one and only, and Dr. Seno. Thank you. And to anybody else who is watching, turn your mouse up here. Sorry, anyone who is watching quietly and just taking it, I hope you've learned a lot. If you want us to do a part 2, I am open to it because I still believe there's so much to learn. But thank you so much, guys. You guys are the best. So we're going to say take care and God bless. And please, after once we come off, stay on for the after party. Bye.
Okay, then. Bye. Bye.